Hello and welcome to the third episode of Dynamic Table Talk. I'm Charlie, and in this podcast we're going to be talking to our guest performer about the culture of music today and around schools. We are with Nathan.
Hi.
And we're just going to ask you some questions. So just tell us a bit about yourself to begin with.
So, I'm in year 11. My main instrument is guitar. I don't play any others. Some of my other interests include, I do a fair bit of programming in my spare time. I'm a computer scientist. Quite fond of puzzles as well. Like, I'll just pick up a puzzle and sort of have a go and then see what happens.
Okay, so now on to more music-based talk. When and why did you start to play music?
So I started learning guitar in year 4, and I started because I had an interest in wanting to be able to play some of those amazing pieces that you hear, like some of the best guitarists play. In fact, especially one of the things that really kick-started that for me was when I saw a local band playing at a village festival, and it just sounded absolutely incredible, and so that was what sort of sparked all this.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the positives or benefits of learning an instrument?
Yeah. So it's fun, while it can also be challenging at times, which a lot of people like. They like having something to push themselves to
Enjoy
see
the
how they
challenge.
can. Yeah. I suppose like a couple of the negatives are it can be really frustrating at times.
Yeah.
Like you can be trying to perfect the verse of this piece like over and over and over again, and it always at the same place.
Yeah.
You'll eventually get past that though.
So, say a young person is wanting to learn an instrument, but they're not too sure about it. What would you say to them wanting to learn how to play?
I would say if you have a friend who plays that instrument or just plays another instrument that you maybe not necessarily want to learn, you should ask them about sort of their experiences getting into it and everything.
So let's move on to some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
So, as a musician, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I'd say an intermediate level. Not too sure.
In music, what's your favourite genre to listen to?
That I have a couple. There's pop music or rock music. They're my two favourites.
So right now, who's your favourite artist?
That would have to be the band AC/DC.
And who would you say is your least favourite?
Billie Eilish. I know that one's going to cause some controversy.
Who would you say is your biggest musical inspiration?
I got I heard the Money for Nothing riff, and I was just from that point onwards that was it. I was going to play that at some point.
Yeah. So, what would you say is the worst instrument?
I'm going to have to say ukulele. It's just a B-Tech guitar.
Fair enough. Finally, if you had the opportunity to learn any other instrument, what would it be?
Definitely piano.
Piano. Any particular reason?
Because there are some really nice sort of flowing pieces that sound really nice to sort of relax.
Yeah. So, what was the last song you listened to?
That would be Back in Black by AC/DC, which is notable for being in the second Iron Man film.
Have you experienced any negatives playing music or any downsides to it?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, you can get stuck sometimes, and it can take a really, really long time to get past that point. Yeah, that can really sort of put a dampener on things sometimes.
So you are in year 11, and obviously with GCSEs coming up after that, you've got to further your education. Do you intend to further your music education after that point?
I intend to keep playing guitar, but I'll probably sort of just do more of just playing for myself rather than sort of doing performances and stuff like that.
What do you think schools could do to, I don't know, maybe encourage young people to play music?
I think they should sort of enable young people to actually get into instruments a lot easier. So they should have instruments that students can just try and see if that sort of working for them. Like I know particularly in our school we have like a massive room that has like guitars on all of the walls.
Yeah.
And I find that you'll see a lot of people just like go and pick one up and like have a little strum, and they'll end up figuring something out, like a little rhythm pattern or something like that.
Yeah. Actual music lessons nowadays, not as in like you're learning an instrument, or as in like in
Curriculum lessons.
Yeah, curriculum lessons. What would you say can be done to improve those? Because those are notorious for being quite boring and standard.
Yeah, that's a bit of an interesting one. I think sometimes teachers would need to like adapt to the nature of their class. So, for example, if the class really doesn't like singing, as mine really didn't, then they shouldn't keep trying to just push for singing, because that's like trying to just put a square peg into a round hole.
So finally, you are a performer, kind of like
Yeah.
you play music.
Yeah,
So you're going to do a performance for us here. So what piece are you going to play?
I'm going to play "Best of You" by the Foo Fighters.
Nice. Take it away. Please make sure to check out our other episodes and future episodes. Goodbye.